Are we witnessing the final desperate gasp of a dynasty, or the masterstroke that reignites the golden flame for one last burn? Welcome back, Dub Nation. I need you to take a deep breath because the news coming out of the front offices today isn't just a rumor, it is a declaration of war. We are standing on the precipice of the most explosive offseason in modern NBA history, and the Golden State Warriors are right in the center of the storm. But here is the question that should keep every single one of you awake tonight. Is the front office brave enough to pull the trigger on a move that could save Stephen Curry's twilight years? Or are we going to watch our biggest rivals steal the future right from under our noses? The tension is palpable. We aren't talking about fighting for a play-in spot anymore. We are talking about a collision course with the Los Angeles Lakers that will define the next decade of basketball on the West Coast. According to the latest, most exclusive intel dropping from league insiders, both Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Rob Pelinka have locked their sights on the exact same target. They have identified the same savior. The obsession is real, and his name is Trey Murphy III. Let's set the stage properly because the context here is absolutely critical. We know for a fact that the Warriors were working the phones furiously before the trade deadline. They called New Orleans. They made offers. They were rejected. But here is the twist that changes everything. That rejection didn't kill the deal. It only poured gasoline on the fire. The Warriors haven't given up. In fact, reports suggest they are planning to circle back this summer with packages so aggressive they might reshape the entire roster. Why the desperation? Why now? Because the New Orleans Pelicans are bleeding out. Sitting at a disastrous 15-41 record and languishing at 14th in the West, they are vulnerable. The vultures are circling, and the two biggest birds of prey, the Warriors and the Lakers, are ready to feast. This isn't just business, it's an arms race. Both franchises are operating on borrowed time with aging superstars. The Warriors need a bridge to the future, a player who can contribute to winning now while carrying the torch later. Trey Murphy III has evolved from a nice role player into a legitimate star, and his availability will define the entire 2026 offseason. The Pelicans are playing hardball, demanding a king's ransom, but when a team loses this badly, change is inevitable. The bidding war is about to begin, and the pressure cooker is whistling. To truly understand why two of the smartest organizations in basketball are ready to go to war over Trey Murphy III, we have to look beyond the jersey and analyze the evolution of the player himself. This isn't about hype, it's about the cold, hard reality of basketball evolution. A year ago, Murphy was seen as a high-potential 3-and-D wing, a valuable piece, sure, but not a franchise cornerstone. Fast forward to today, February 2026, and the script has completely flipped. In 52 games this season, Murphy has exploded. We are talking about 22.1 points per game, nearly 6 rebounds, and elite efficiency on a struggling team. These aren't empty calories, folks. These are superstar numbers born from necessity. Let's contextualize this historically. Think about the archetype of the modern NBA wing that Golden State has always coveted. We built a dynasty on length, shooting, and versatility. Murphy is 6'8", with a wingspan that seems to go on forever. He is shooting nearly 38% from deep on high volume while finishing over centers in traffic. Does that remind you of anyone? He is essentially a taller, more athletic version of a young Klay Thompson, but with the bounce to dunk on your head in transition. He has become one of the most efficient scorers in the league, despite being the focal point of every opponent's defensive game plan. Why? Because who else are they guarding on that Pelicans roster right now? The historical parallel here is fascinating. Remember when the Warriors acquired Andre Iguodala? It wasn't just about his stats, it was about unlocking a new way to play. Murphy represents that same tactical shift. The Pelicans front office is in a bind that reminds me of the Kevin Love situation in Minnesota years ago. On one hand, Murphy is the only bright spot in a season from hell. On the other, his value has never been higher. If they keep him, they risk wasting his prime years on a rebuild that could take half a decade. If they trade him, they admit defeat, but they replenish their war chest for the next 10 years. For the Warriors, Murphy is the perfect heir to the Splash Brothers lineage. For the Lakers, he is the ideal running mate for Anthony Davis in the post-LeBron era. He is the rare player who fits every system, and that is why his price tag is going to be astronomical. He is the skeleton key that unlocks championship potential, a unicorn who defends 1 through 4 and shoots 40% from 3. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about the pain. What does a loaded offer actually look like for the Golden State Warriors? The Pelicans aren't interested in salary filler or late first-round picks. They want blue-chip prospects and unprotected draft capital. This is where the rubber meets the road, and this is where Dub Nation is going to be torn in half. For Golden State, any conversation likely starts with Jonathan Kuminga or Brandon Podziemski. I can hear the collective gasp from here. Are we willing to part with Kuminga, a player we have groomed for years, whose ceiling is still unknown, to get a more polished scorer in Murphy? It is a massive gamble. You are trading potential for production. But look at the calendar. With Steph Curry's window closing, can you afford to wait for potential? Murphy fits the Kerr system seamlessly. He moves without the ball, he shoots the lights out, and he defends multiple positions. But let's look at the enemy. The Lakers' asset cupboard is barer, but they have Austin Reeves. Would they include him? What about their remaining tradable first-round picks? A lineup featuring Murphy, Davis, and LeBron is terrifying defensively. If the Warriors hesitate, if they try to lowball New Orleans, they risk handing the Lakers the missing piece to a championship puzzle. And let's not forget the dark horse scenario. What if a third team enters the fray? The Thunder or the Jazz have more draft picks than the Warriors and Lakers combined. If this becomes a simple auction, the California teams lose. We have to sell New Orleans on the players. We have to convince them that Kuminga is a future all-star who can lead their rebuild. The financial impact is also massive. Murphy is due for a massive extension. Whoever trades for him isn't just trading assets. They are committing to paying him max money. The Warriors are already deep in the luxury tax. But can you put a price on a fifth ring? If Murphy is the difference between a second-round exit and a parade down Market Street, you pay the tax. You make the trade. You worry about the bill later. I know half of you are furious at the idea of trading our young core. You're saying, trust the process. But the other half of you sees Steph Curry playing at an elite level and thinks, we owe him everything. This is the divide. This is the tension. The Pelicans know this, and they're going to squeeze every last drop of value out of whichever team is desperate enough to pull the trigger. It is a masterclass in leverage. Here is the bottom line, everyone. The summer of 2026 is going to be defined by this chase. Trey Murphy III is no longer a secret. He is the prize. The Pelicans are sitting at 15-41, a record that screams, blow it up. They cannot justify keeping a 22-point-per-game scorer on a roster that can't win games. They need to pivot, and trading Murphy is their golden ticket to a faster rebuild. But for the Warriors, this is about survival. It is about maximizing the final years of legends. If the Warriors land Murphy, they extend their dynasty window by another 2 or 3 years. He is the perfect bridge between the Curry era and whatever comes next. If the Lakers land him, they instantly become the favorites in the West again, giving LeBron one last legitimate shot at a ring. The stakes could not be higher. One of these teams is going to get him, and the other is going to be left watching from the sidelines, wondering, what if? Think about the ripple effects. If the Warriors miss out on Murphy, does Steph Curry start to wonder if the front office is truly committed to winning? The acquisition of Trey Murphy III isn't just about adding a player. It's about signaling intent. It's about telling your superstars, your fans, and the rest of the league that you are still the alpha dogs. The Pelicans are the gatekeepers of the Western Conference right now. They hold the key to the championship puzzle. Will they hand it to the dynasty in the Bay or the royalty in Los Angeles? I want to hear from you. Who has the better package to offer? Would you trade Kuminga for Murphy if you were the GM, or is the price too high? Drop your trade proposals in the comments below. I want to see your best GM impressions. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more exclusive trade breakdowns, and hit the bell so you never miss a rumor. The heat is rising in the West, and we are just getting started. Until next time, keep your eyes on the ticker. The war has begun.